back to another episode of Seize the Adventure. Today we are going to be going over the 5 things that I love about my self-converted DIY Astro Safari camper van. I've had this van for a little over a year now, and in that time we've made a ton of changes to it. Most of the comments that I get on my channel are in regards to how I built out my camper van, and a lot of people like to use my videos as a guide to build out their own GMC Safari Chevy Astro vans. So today, that's why I decided it'd be pretty useful to go over the 5 things that I absolutely love about my van and some things to consider for your van. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe. We're on track to hitting 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year. If you're interested in how I built out this GMC Safari all-wheel drive camper van, go ahead, head over to the Adventure Van Build Series playlist. I'll have it linked up at the top where you can go watch me step-by-step build this van out. I also have a full van tour video if you're interested in that, so go ahead, check out that video after you get to the end of this one. And one more thing before we get into the rest of this video, check out the Seize the Adventure merchandise. Head over to www.seizetheadventurestore.com. We have tons of t-shirts, hoodies, coffee mugs, all sorts of stuff, and all the proceeds go directly to building this channel so we could do more camping videos, more van builds. I love how these t-shirts came out. They're super lightweight, they look incredible. I have them in a variety of colors that I personally enjoy. So now let's jump into the 5 things that I love about my self-converted camper van. I'm gonna start off with number 1. I love how this van looks. I went with cedar planks on the ceiling and on the walls, and it gives it a very cabin-like feeling. I know that looks aren't everything, but there's something to be said about the comfort and this warm cabin-like feeling. The smells in here are really great, and it just overall looks really nice, and it doesn't feel like I'm in a 20-year-old van when I step in here. It just feels like I'm in some type of luxury mini camper. And most of the Astro vans that you see on YouTube are very functional. They have a bed, they have a place to cook, and you know, the necessities. But I wanted to go kind of over the top and make it look super nice as well. Something to be very proud of. I really enjoyed all the wood and everything that went into this van. So that's going to be it. Number 1 is just overall aesthetic. I love how it looks in here. So with number 2, I'm going to talk about simplicity is key. I went with a very simple electrical system, a very simple plumbing system, and it's worked great all the times that I've used it. So let's get into number 2 is the simple electric and plumbing. So in our main cabinet here, I have it latched up, and right below is a Jackery solar generator. These things are awesome if you've never seen them. If you're into the van life, truck camping kind of world on YouTube, you've probably heard of the Jackery batteries. Now this is the Jackery Explorer 300, and it's definitely one of the smaller models. With that being said, this thing is awesome. So right now, as you can see, it has pretty low battery. We're only at 14%, but what's great about these things is I can plug it directly into the cigarette lighter of the van while I'm driving, and I could have a full battery in a couple hours before I head to my destination. So I really enjoy that. I have my fantastic fan plugged into it, which has an adjustable 2-way switch. You can have air sucking in or air blowing out, and then it has a 3-speed system. It's absolutely perfect for getting some airflow in the van, cooling it down on a hot day, as well as ventilating any food smells or steam that accumulates in the van. So we have the fantastic fan plugged into this battery, as well as our lights, and it's just a simple LED light strip that we have going along the back. I find that it's plenty of light. I don't think I'd really want that much more in this van, but for simplicity's sake, and if you're looking to get into van life super easily, simply, and affordably, go ahead and just check out a Jackery system. There's many other solar generators out on the market. Along with that, we have couple other ports that we can charge our phone with, or our iPad to watch movies, or extra batteries for our GoPro, things like that. So we kept it super simple, and I've been very happy with that. So by having one of these Jackery solar power generators, I cut out everything. It has its own inverters and things like that, so I didn't need to buy all these extra things. And at the end of the day, you can also buy solar panels for this thing. So it's practically everything that you need in a one-stop shop. So staying on the theme of simplicity, we have a very, very simple plumbing setup. So what this is 2 1-gallon jugs. We have one labeled as G for gray water and one freshwater tank. And then up here we have this electrical rechargeable water jug pump. So essentially this can go on one of those big blue water jugs that you could get at any grocery store, and it has a rechargeable feature and it works electrically. So I really like the simplicity of this. Also, all I have to do is change out the fresh water and dump out the gray water, and we have a running sink in a very small van. I know this might be overkill for some people, but for me, being able to wash my hands and do some dishes makes camping a whole lot easier. And I actually have this sink bowl that's custom made for this van, and what it is a stainless steel mixing bowl that I had cut out the very bottom of, and I just bought some type of sink strainer on Amazon and glued this all together, put it into our countertop, and it's awesome, man. It really does the job. Next time I would definitely go with a larger bowl if I were to do this again, but I just didn't want to take up too much of this counter space. So this is a very productive area, and with this simple setup, it doesn't really take up too much space. So I'm a huge fan of that. So that wraps up the second thing that I absolutely love about this van is just the pure, simple electric and plumbing. So now let's jump into the third thing that I absolutely love about this van. Right here, we have a fold-out table. Now this doesn't look like much, but I use this thing every single time I go camping. So what we have here is these 2 brackets that I got off of Amazon. I'll have them linked down in the description below because I actually have 2 sets of these in my van, and it's super simple to use. You just pull this table up and you have a really sturdy surface. So what I usually do is put my camp stove on this, and then I also have some room on the side to chop up vegetables and things like that. So I really love this surface. If you go along the side here, we have another one of these pop-up tables with the very same bracket. So what this allows us to do is extend our countertop a little bit longer, and my stove actually fits on this, and it'll hold my stove up. If I'm inside cooking, I could have a chop station and I could have a stove right here. So if you've seen my last videos, you've definitely seen me use this fold-out table, and I think I really like how it looks too. It's just kind of cool looking. If you're building out a GMC Safari Astro van and you have a cargo version, it comes with these metal panels right here that I just cut out a piece of plywood and use metal tapping screws, and I just screwed them straight to the door. It kind of breaks up the white. I was thinking I could mount some type of cubby system right here too, or even another fold-out table. It'd be super useful to have 2 of these things. So I really enjoy the fold-out tables. So let's talk about the fourth thing that I love about this van, and that would be this bed. This is my second version, I guess you could say, of this bed. Go ahead and watch both of those videos. I think they're super informative, and it'll take you step by step on how to build out this bed. If you go ahead and see the very first video of my camper van bed, it has 30,000+ views on YouTube. I never thought a video like that would get that much traction on YouTube, but it's my most watched video on the platform as of today. So there's a lot that goes into this bed that makes it ideal for me. And number one is this memory foam mattress. I have a 4-inch memory foam mattress on here, and it's incredibly comfortable. When ordering a 4-inch mattress, I was a little bit skeptical, as you could assume, but it's been super comfortable. I've never had a bad back waking up or anything like that, and it's pretty amazing what 4 inches of foam can do. One form is the couch function, and I've heard people online say that you can't sit up in an Astro van, and I wanted to prove them wrong, because on a rainy day you don't want to be hunched over in one of these things. Your back will hurt and it just won't be a very fun time. So what I did to make this happen is I used 2x2s and I put them directly on top of the wheel well, so you can't get any lower than that in an Astro van. And I'm about 5'11", and I can sit up relatively straight in this. My head does touch the ceiling, but the very first generation of this couch bed, I couldn't sit up at all. It was horrible, and if it rained, I was stuck, slunched over, and pretty unhappy. So the fact that I can sit up in this couch form makes this bed really awesome. So when this thing isn't in couch form, it pulls out into a full-size bed. Check this out. Look how spacious this is. You're able to sleep 2 full-size adults in a minivan, relatively speaking. I love it. It's great. Don't let the people fool you on YouTube that sleep sideways in the back of the van. Unless you're 5 feet tall, it's not gonna happen. This is the very best bed design for an Astro van. So if you're going to build something out, try to go with this method instead of the fixed platform method in the back of your van. I know it works for the big sprinters, but if you don't have something that large, don't try to sleep sideways in this van. Let's try it. Guess it could work. So to push this thing back into couch mode, I just pull the back of the mattress up and push it in. It works so well. I'm so happy with how this came out. If you're interested in this mattress, I'll have it linked below in the description. This is what the bed looks like from the side. I think it adds to that number 1, which was the aesthetic of the van. I went with cedar planks. It matches the wall and the ceiling super nicely, and I'm really happy with how it came out aesthetically. Below we just have lots of storage. I have a bin. I usually keep dry foods, extra propane, things like that. Then I have my stove in here, and then some extra blankets, and there's still a ton of room to spare. There's a ton of storage underneath this thing, and what's great about it is it's long too, so I can fit fishing poles in here, I can fit a snowboard, I can fit a lot of stuff in a very small space. So now let's talk about the 5th thing that I love about my van, and that has to be price. I know you're probably thinking it was going to be a feature, but let's go over the price and maybe you'll understand where I'm coming from. So I bought this van just before the GMC Safari and Astro van market kind of skyrocketed. I see a lot of vans now that are posted for $7,000 to $10,000 completely stock with similar miles. This is a 2000 GMC Safari all-wheel drive. I bought it with 140,000 miles on it, which can kind of seem like a lot, but for these vans, I've heard they could get up to 300,000 miles with routine maintenance and those sorts of things. So it runs great. I had to put some money into it to get it into great running condition, but that's with any vehicle that you buy. You're gonna have to maintain it in some way, shape, or form. So let's talk about price. I've picked this van up for about $3,000, which was an awesome deal at the time. I didn't know that this was going to blow up into some kind of crazy trend where people were buying Astro vans and they were looking to the internet for help on building them out. So I'm really grateful that I bought this van when I did. And I'm also really grateful for you guys. So thank you if you're watching this video and you're curious about this van in itself. Thanks, because if it weren't for you guys, I wouldn't keep doing this. So I really appreciate it. So after we bought the van for $3,000, I probably put $2,000 total in all building materials, maintenance. This includes the mattress, which was over $100, the jackery, which was a couple $100, the fantastic fan was a couple $100, and all the lumber that goes into it. Cedar, it's not cheap, so that was pretty pricey and it was worth it. So $3,000 total for the vehicle, which is a killer price. It's an all-wheel drive van, has enough space to camp with 2 people plus a dog. $2,000 for the build itself. So we're sitting at roughly about $5,000, and for a camper van, that's unheard of. Granted, this isn't the most spectacular build that's out there. There's people that do full solar setups and refrigerators and everything like that. But this is a camper van. It's not an RV. So I like to think that this has everything that you need for those weekend warrior trips. Now, would I live in this personally? I don't know. I think I would have to do a complete rebuild, and it would probably cost a lot more than, the $2,000 in the original build that I have in this van. But I like to think of this as a camper van. Like I said, it's for getting you to your destination, whether it be on a dirt road or at a campground. You can pull up, you can cook out of this thing, you can have entertainment, watch movies, and then you can sleep soundly at night knowing that you're in an enclosed, locked space with a nice memory foam mattress. I think we did pretty great for $5,000 total. So that about wraps up the 5 things that we love about our GMC Safari van. If you're new here, please hit the subscribe button. It means a lot to us. Spread the great word of my channel. Make sure to like this video. If we get 50 likes on this video, we'll do the 5 things that I absolutely hate about this van right behind me. And trust me, we could figure out 5 things. Comment something down below that you enjoyed about this video, or if you have any questions about this build. I guarantee you that I will answer any questions that you may have. I'll send you links to any of the things that I have put into this van. So thanks for watching this video, and as always, we'll see you in the next one.